What have we learned so far from ConstructSafe? Well, we know some key numbers with regards to ConstructSafe Tier 1 test. What we know is that we've tested about 53,000 people so far, that we've issued just short of 37,000 ConstructSafe Tier 1 test cards, that the average pass rate's about 70%. What this tells us about 2/3 of the people that have taken the Tier 1 test comfortably meet the Tier 1 competency standard, and that about 1/3 of our people in the sector need some further help to meet those basic competency requirements. What we've also learned from ConstructSafe Tier 1 testing is that we've tested quite a lot of people in the infrastructure, the horizontal construction sector. So most of the 53,000 people that we've tested so far are in roading and civil construction. Really, this shows that this year ConstructSafe really need to concentrate hard on getting more of our colleagues in vertical construction, residential building, engaged with the Tier 1 ConstructSafe test. The most important thing that we've learned from the Tier 1 test so far is where people are strong and where people are weak with regards to areas of knowledge, particularly around those areas of critical risk. What we have learned from looking at the success rates of different types of questions is that people are really struggling to answer questions when it comes to the subject of plant and site traffic. This is an interesting insight because this aligns with industry lag data. About 1/3 of our fatalities in the construction sector are around plant and site traffic. And what we're looking at is our lead indicator information from ConstructSafe is aligning with this picture. So what else do we know? Well, we know that on average it takes about half an hour to do the Tier 1 test. The other thing that we really know is about different question types, and what we know is that people really struggle when it comes to answer signage questions. We've looked into this, and what's really interesting is that people really struggle to understand the signs and symbols that we display across construction sites. This might be an opportunity to standardise the signs and symbols we use in New Zealand construction. What's really exciting about the ConstructSafe scheme is the development of our in-field verification tool. So we've already spoken about the frameworks which we engage industry with to build what we want people to know and do at different levels or for different occupations in construction. We've already talked about the different tests that we can deliver to test people's knowledge and behaviour against those frameworks. The piece we're missing is what happens when people complete a test and go back to work. Well, the answer is an in-field verification process. This is a process where supervisors, those leaders of small teams, can use the ConstructSafe system to assess the competency of their people against a common standard. What this gives us a really great picture of how people work, how work is done, and how we can help people be better whilst carrying out their work. It also gives us some currency with regards to people's competency and capability, and gives us a picture of understanding how people actually behave and how they apply their skill after they've been tested. So how does the in-field verification process work? Well, like everything with ConstructSafe, it's quite simple. So first of all, the ConstructSafe system is quite agnostic about where people get their training or their skill from historically. Once the system receives a person who is competent either through training or experience or a mixture of both, they'll carry out the Tier 2 trade and occupation test that's suitable for their job. Once a person has passed their relevant Tier 2 test, they can engage in a program of in-field verification. This is where, as they work without disturbing operations, their supervisor or someone nominated by their employer can look at how they work, how they do their job against a common standard that all of their employers are using. This gives us assurance that our people are truly competent and applying their knowledge in the right way. The in-field verification program encourages people to be proactive, both from an employee point of view, to own their own competency and seek out these assessments, and also from an employer point of view, to actually develop a volume of in-field verification activity to create a better picture of how our people work and how work is done. The data that falls out of this will be super valuable in helping us improve safety standards in New Zealand construction. What are the key roles associated with the in-field verification process? Let's first of all talk about the assessors, the people who are actually carrying out in-field verification. One of the challenges we've had historically around competency assessment is that we've had very few people available in organisations to carry out this activity, and it's normally being done in a way that disturbs operations. What the ConstructSafe in-field verification programme gives us is the ability to put competency into the coalface leaders, the supervisors, the people that lead these small teams in construction, and allow them to do their job, which is to look at their people and make an assessment about how well they're doing their job and what they need to do their job better. To enable our supervisors to be able to do this in-field verification, we're working with the ITOs to develop up a version of Unit Standard 4098, a light version if you like, which includes all the elements to be able to get a supervisor to be able to understand what a standard is and how to look at a person against that standard and make an assessment about whether they meet that standard or whether there are gaps in their ability to apply their skill and knowledge. The in-field verification skill is woven into the Tier 3 competency standards, so therefore in the future, as more and more of our supervisors meet the Tier 3 standard, they will automatically qualify to be able to do in-the-field verification assessments. In addition to the assessors, another key role in the in-field verification programme are our moderators. What we know is that competency moderators already exist in most large construction organisations. These are the people that actually own and develop competency assessment programmes. What we're asking them to do is register into the ConstructSafe scheme and provide us with some quality assurance checks, both internally for their own organisations, therefore to check and repeat some of the assessments that are being done by their supervisors, and also as a valuable asset for us to be able to go and check other things that are going on in the system outside of their companies. So where do we want to go to from here with ConstructSafe? Well, the first thing we want to do is continue to seek feedback on the tests that we're currently delivering. We've provided some system upgrades recently which allow people who are engaging as candidates who are taking the test to provide us with feedback on how that went for them. This is really important because we constantly want to improve the quality of the system moving forwards. What we also really want to do is share more of the information and insights we're getting about what people know and where the gaps are against our frameworks and share that with the training industry. What we'd really like to do is improve the quality of the training capability offerings that are out there in the marketplace and make sure that they meet the requirements of the frameworks that our sector have built. The picture that our sector are telling us of what we want people to know and do around health and safety in construction. What we'd really love to see is wider engagement across the broader construction sector. We'd really love to see more people in the vertical construction industry and the residential constructors doing the Tier 1 test. We'd really like to see more clients of construction adopting ConstructSafe as a standard for their supply chains. We're going to really push hard this year to develop more trade and occupation tests in construction to provide much more value for those trades and occupations that are working across the construction sector. This year, we'd really like to see the implementation of the new plant operators competency scheme, which is our first try at in-field verification across a practical skill in construction. Moving on from this, we'd really like to see the in-field verification process being applied to other tiers and trades and occupations. And I think the most important thing that I'd really like to see coming out of ConstructSafe is just more data. We're really keen to share the data and the insights and the learnings that we're getting from the ConstructSafe system and make that information available to anyone who might find it useful.